Hey guys, subscribe for daily content. And if you're shopping for gear, make sure you check out the description for the newest items at some of the very best online retailers. There's also links for some of the items that I personally recommend. Thanks!
What's going on YouTube? Metal Complex here, and today I've got a short little overview slash return to video to share with you guys. This is the Hinderer half track, a little tank of a knife, which I actually believe it was named after a little tank. But I've already reviewed this knife. Years ago, I reviewed the Hinderer half track, and I really liked it. It was good. This is a more perfected version of it. It's not any different to my knowledge. It's just current Hinderer knives versus Hinderer knives, 3, 4, 5, 6 years ago. They have definitely gone from, kind of like teeter-tottery fit and finish, and, lackluster detent, and, the factory edges weren't great. Everything has improved from, just the action, the flipping action, like the detent strength's good. Their fit and finish has gotten substantially better. Their cutting edges, obviously, they have different, they have varying edge geometries, hollow grind, stuff like that, etc. It's all gotten better and better and better over time to the point where now modern Hinderers, when you buy them, they are essentially perfect in terms of machining precision, right? All of that stuff. This is that most recent, that sort of up-to-date, has all of the new super precision Hinderer sauce applied to it. And it's been so long since I have handled, I missed it there at the flip. It's been so long since I've handled a half track. Scott from USA Made Blade gave me an opportunity here. He loaned me one so I could check it out in full tie, which I've never actually done. And I said, yes, absolutely, let's do that. So thanks for doing that. I just want to talk about a few little things about this knife. And for people who, maybe you're looking at the XM18, the 3.5 inch, and thinking it's cool, but it's too big. I kind of want that beefy American titanium knife, right? You can get these in just G10 as well with a titanium lock sight. But I don't want it to be so big, right? Maybe the little tank thing kind of appeals to you, and I can help you out with a few things here. Thanks to USA Made Blade for sending this in. I'll link this knife at USA Made Blade down in the description. It does come from the factory in full tie or G10 with a tie liner and a titanium lock sight on the other side. There's a big difference in price there, which we'll talk about, but you can check out all of the different stuff, all the different variations available at USA Made Blade. Let's go ahead and get a measurement here real quick. The overall length of this guy is coming in at it's like 6.65? Yeah, a little over 6.5 inches. Blade length is coming in at about 2.85, and your cutting edge is coming in at about 2.5. A couple of size comparisons that might make sense. The Spyderco Para 3, we'll put it up against my own mini Excalibur. It's a little bit shorter there. And then, I don't know if there's anything else is real. We could put it up against the QSP Penguin. And how about the, let's do the Vosteed Porcupine here. We can do that one too. So, thickness though, I mean, this is definitely a little more of a beefy knife. Definitely. These current ones are running MagnaCut. Hinderer uses S45VN, M390, 20CV, MagnaCut typically. It'd be interesting to see them use S90V. But that's typically what they run. And yeah, this is going to be a knife that is fairly thick behind the edge. A lot of Hinderer knives just have that excessively robust cutting geometry. And that doesn't mean that they won't cut. It means that, you're not going to have that, like, hair-splitting laser beam edge. But as far as whether or not they are capable of slicing, yes, right? The slicing ability or the lack thereof when it comes to Hinderer knives is largely exaggerated online, often by people who have literally never handled one, right? It's just sort of that merry-go-round of parroting. As someone who has owned over 40 Hinderer knives, I would say that was much more true back in like 2012 through, sort of the end of Gen 3. Their cutting edges, their cutting edge geometry, and this is largely, I'm talking about the XM18 3.5 inch, but it does sort of expand to the other models. The Hinderer XM18 3.5 inch standard thickness, especially like the Spanto, has always had ridiculously thick cutting geometry. Some of them came out of the Hinderer factory or Hinderer shop with a factory edge that was actually sharp, and some of them didn't. So you had widely varying cutting performance or cutting ability, and then it also was being it was subject to however many different types of opinions on what good cutting performance was. But slowly over time, Hinderer got better and better and better at releasing their knives with a factory edge that could actually cut, and on top of that, various blade shapes with various cutting geometries. Due to a number of things like the hollow grind, they would add hollow grinds on there sometimes. It's more of a recent thing, but also they would make the blade stock thickness thinner. They would call them skinnies, right? So this is, as far as like a knife of this size, the actual blade stock thickness, I believe, is still incredibly, well, not incredibly thick, but it's still pretty thick. Every time, there's the cow. It was right in my face. I don't think it's quite 165 thousandths. I think it's probably like 145 thousandths. No, it is. It's still like 162 thousandths. So it's a beefy boy, but it can definitely cut and slice and do all that stuff. It's a pretty aggressive Wharncliffe on this guy. The original versions that they came out with were kind of like a fat spear point, and they also had really thick cutting geometry. I find this to be a lot more appealing as just like a day-to-day sort of utility pocket knife. Now, obviously, we don't need to point this out, but people will, so I'll point it out. Yes, a straightforward utility knife can perform essentially the same tasks and only costs about $15. Yes, and everybody knows that. The people who are interested in stuff like this probably own like 40 of those things, like they're laying around their house, right? The reason that you buy this is not because you're confused about how much to spend on utility. It's because those things are boring and you want something cool. That is all the more complicated it has ever been. Hinderer makes a very, very high quality product, right? A totally unnecessary luxury product, but a very high quality, totally unnecessary luxury product. And it is cool, and it does make you feel cool. When I cut with my Husky utility knife, my joy levels are at exactly 0. I don't even register because I'm cutting with a stupid Husky box cutter. Great. Cut the box, get it out of the way, keep going. I cut a box or whatever with something like this, I get to feel joy and happiness because it's cool, and I feel 1,000 times cooler doing it, right? And most people watching would too, or some equivalent. If you don't like how this looks, then some equivalent of it. I do like the angle of this. I think it's cool. They'll have different blades. They'll have more blade shapes in the future if you don't like this. I think that this actually works the best with a little knife like this. Typically, I don't like to carry knives that I can't get a full grip on unless there's some sort of cool factor that, it helps me sort of wave that off. And truthfully for me, I just really like how Hinderer this knife looks without being one of the flagship models like the Eclipse or the XM18. I love this. It looks like a little tank. It looks cool. It has that extremely Hinderer look. And I just really like it. And I think this particular one with the angled Wharncliffe is that much cooler. Admittedly, I don't know where Hinderer is hitting their Magna Cut in terms of the HRC range. I feel like Transparent Knives probably did an HRC test on their Magna Cut a while back, but I know that they were running it softer in the earliest days, like when Magna Cut first came out, right? So maybe they have bumped it. Realistically, I doubt they're going to hit that 63, 64 mark. It wouldn't be any surprise to me if they were running it somewhere between 61 and 63, which is fine, right? Really robust cutting geometry, definitely a tough little knife, especially for coming down to what initially appears to be like a needle point tip. Not really. It actually is, there's quite a bit of material there. I'm not suggesting you should pry with it or anything like that, but it really is, all of this together, it ends up being a tough little tanky knife. And while it is not at all the most convenient or the most specifically purposeful tool to carry for pretty much anybody in any occasion, right? This is a knife that you carry, it's a good knife and it'll perform, well enough. It's a knife that you carry because you want to. It's for cool factor, right? And it is a good tool. Yeah, like I think that most people who buy stuff like this and carry it, I think they're fully aware of it. A couple of things that make this a little bit awkward. The grip zones are actually very comfortable. The pocket clip is the exact same pocket clip that is on the XM18 3.5 inch and various other models. So it feels a little bit big for this guy. I wish that they would make a pocket clip that's still the Hinderer clip, but it's maybe like, 30% shorter, just to sort of match the half track size, because this pocket clip is like 65 to 70% the length of the handle here. So it's a little bit weird. I also wish that they had gone ahead and textured both sides of the half track. I feel like I've seen half tracks in the past where both sides were textured, so I was a little bit bummed out to see that this one was not that way. But that's okay. The texturing is really nice, and I kind of like how they, have it like smooth over here, and the screws sit on top of that, and then this area is raised and textured. So at least in and out of the pocket is a very smooth experience because of there not being any, texture on that side. Something that a lot of people might notice right after they buy this is the detent's very good. And in fact, I would almost call this a heavy detent. Like, it is a snappy action. It's not a fall shutting knife. And here's why. That lock bar is so short and there's so much tension to make sure that it locks up properly that it is pushing super hard against, the lock face. So it's not that Hinderer can't create action that is smooth. They definitely can. I've got Hinderer knives that are glassy, fall shut. But because of the lock bar size, because of the amount of, when they spring it or when the lock bar is sprung, it's got to have enough tension to want to push itself into the locked out position. It's just so short that it's pushing super hard on that blade. So right out of the box, you can really help this thing by just adding a single drop of KPL or the equivalent. I have KPL in my description, and it'll definitely help. Do not expect this knife to have buttery drop shut action. It's not the type of knife that's going to do that. It's fine and it's smooth enough, right? It's not like it's bumpy or lumpy or grindy or anything like that. But it's not going to be that fall shutting knife. They do still come with, your option. It's a tri-way pivot system, meaning you can put nylon in there, you can put phosphor bronze in there, or you can put bearings in there, and it comes with everything you need to do that. And they're fairly easy to take apart. It is worth pointing out that these do have their own hardware. You can't take like screws from an XM18 and put it in here. I believe the pivot is different. I could be wrong. It could be a matching pivot. Some of the hardware is modular between Hinderer models, and some of it isn't. But when it comes to especially the body screws, those are going to be different. So I still like how Hinderer does the logo. The Hinderer logo is one of my favorites out there, and then it just says MagnaCut USA. This is a tier of USA item that is not the same as Kershaw USA. We always get, whenever I talk about knives in this tier, I always get somebody going, I can get a USA made knife from Kershaw for $150. Yeah, you can. And yeah, sometimes it's going to be in MagnaCut. Here's the big difference. Number one, it's not titanium. Number two, Kershaw production is massively higher. Those are fully mass-produced items. Made in the United States, sure. And this would include also Benchmade, Spyderco, ZT, and Microtech, right? These are mass-produced items. They're produced on a much larger scale. Hinderer knives are still small batch, still all in-house USA, and there's also hand tuning and hand assembly. Much more. It doesn't matter if it's just a small thing. It doesn't matter if it's, the same materials as something you can find somewhere else. The costs associated with creating a Hinderer knife are simply higher, right? And even though you can get, in a lot of ways, the same for less in a lot of other, with a lot of other brands, and that's fine. You can do that, right? I myself do it. I own over 400 knives. I buy from lots of different companies. There are many people, including myself, that when it comes to companies like Hinderer, we will knowingly pay more. We'll pay more for something like this, not only to support a small American company, but because we want things like this that are made this way. It's not a confusion of utilitarian capability. It's full knowledge of exactly what's being purchased here. There's just something that's very cool about stuff like this. So this isn't going to be for everybody, and it's not something that anyone needs. It's not something that anybody needs. But if you are a Hinderer fan, and you like the chunky, robust feeling of the XM18 3.5 inch or the 3.25 inch, but maybe you want something smaller. You just don't want it to be super awkward and dainty feeling like the 3 inch. And believe me, the 3 inch feels awkward and dainty. this is the right knife. This is the one that you want. It's a great EDC size. It's nice and compact. And it's also, even being full titanium, it's heavy for a knife of this size, but it's not heavy overall, like as far as an object goes. 4.4 ounces, okay? Even less with the titanium and G10 version. The problem for most people will be the price tag. The base price of this knife is $425, and the full titanium version is $625, which, by the way, is the exact same base and upgraded price of the XM18 3.5 inch and 3.25 inch and the Eclipse, etc., right? Is it worth it? It'll be worth it to some people and not to others. That's just what it's going to come down to. Hinderer knives have not changed their prices in years. Despite inflation, despite everything happening, they have not changed their prices in years. This is how it's been, right? Plenty of people will hear that and go, it's overpriced, I'm leaving, and that's fine. If you're still here listening, again, this isn't a higher tier of item. It costs more to create, which you do not have to value those additional costs, but they are factually there. So we're looking at a knife that's in the same tier as Chris Reeve, as the in-house USA Demcos, as Medford. I mean, some people consider Medford like a mid-take. It's really largely the same class of item. Les George, etc., etc. So I feel like this probably should have been slightly less expensive than the XM18 3.5 inch, like maybe, $385 and $550 or $575 for full tie. But it's not. It's more expensive. I think the people who decide to go ahead and pick this up are really going to like it, especially if they're already familiar with Hinderer knives. I don't know that I would say that this is the best first Hinderer knife. This is definitely the knife that somebody who is very familiar with Hinderer knives purchases because they want that feeling. They just want it in a more compact size. And I think for those people, you will really, really enjoy this. So that's going to be it today. This video is already substantially longer than I wanted it to be. Please, and like I said, this will be linked below through USA Made Blade. Please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you'd like to check out my other content, I do, of course, have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like, so check those out. And if you enjoy all my content, go ahead and click on that Metal Complex logo right there and subscribe because there's definitely more coming. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a great day.